Hello. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. We had a really good day. We had some interesting conversations with the Career Path alumni slash advanced group. So that it was really cool. We went into some deep diving onto AI. We talked about that. We talked about a couple of really good deals. We talked about outsourcing ourselves. Everything we can outsource on the path of outsourcing ourselves. But that was a really good discussion, don't you think? So I am Jill DeWitt. I'm here with my partner, Stephen Jack Vitalo. We are Land Academy. And we are open to the public here the first few minutes to cover, some industry information and things to help everybody out there. And then in 10, 15 minutes or so, we'll close her up for just the members and review their deals from our separate little Zoom environment here. Go ahead and load them up. I see questions and some good deals being popped in there. I'm excited. I know you're going to talk a little bit probably in your coming up, like, where are we right now with the planet and real estate, especially with all the craziness happening every week. There's something going on. So it's so interesting. I'm excited. For me, the big picture is how much, and I keep looking to Jack, like, how much can we spend?
Yeah.
How much real estate can I buy right now? Because I'm going to get some good stuff. I'm seeing them, and it keeps, I don't know about you, but when we live in something on our phone. There's always an app on our phone open where we're trolling or fishing and looking at some market. Sometimes it's for work. Sometimes I'm reviewing other people's deals, and sometimes it's personal. And every time I see, oops, price drop, I get excited, or excuse me, now they call it price correction, whatever. It's a price drop. So I love it. So I can't wait to see, what's coming. Probably this summer. When do you think?
We'll look at it. Well, we will look at that today. The
Okay,
numbers are undeniable. There's so much real estate on the market, as I'll show you here in just a couple of minutes.
cool. And I don't know if there's a slide in here or not, but for Land Academy members, you're coming second. But today we opened up the transaction coordinator uh, uh, a la carte option, if you will.
It's not open yet.
It's not yet. Okay, good. All right, well, I'm just going to tell them. So if you see chatter about that in Discord, you're like, what are you guys talking about? What do you mean? I didn't know I could spend a couple $100 and have somebody close my deal for me. What do you that I want that right now? So if that's you, send a note to my team. And depending how this first wave goes, maybe we could put you at the top of the list for when we're opening it up to everybody. So it's support@landacademy.com. And that's coming. So we're going to have a la carte, like you can even do per deal, have my team be your transaction coordinator team, or you could pay monthly. So there's all kinds of options. That's it for me. I'm going to hand it to you here. Or wait, there's probably a question here. Okay, so the question of the week is from Maya R. I want to say thank you so much for the 3-day series you did. I watched it all and was amazing. I actually signed up for Land Academy. Yeah. Yay. I'm glad. That's what it's for. Answer your questions and help you see if it's a good fit. And then if it is, we're right here. So I'm glad you did that. So my question is, I have a hard time with accountability. There's so much information in the education already, and I know myself. And no, I get overwhelmed. Can you give me maybe my first 3 or 5 steps to help stay on track? Let me go first.
Yeah. I mean, my first step is get a calendar and
Okay.
just stick to it. And so I understand the overwhelmed but there's certain things in the world where that happens to me too. As long as it's in a calendar, I'm supposed to only do this for 2 hours or a half hour, or whatever it ends up being today. Then that solves it all for me. But go ahead.
Well, I was going to say first 3 things are start with Land Academy 3.0. Watch it probably 2 to 3 times. First time you're going to blow through it, watch the whole thing, start to finish. Second time you're going to go, all right, Now I'm going back and taking notes and really kind of focusing on the things that I need, spend time, pause, get to really understand the parts that are really new to you or the concepts are just different. And then the third time you're going to go back and like you're downloading data and doing it at the same time, or you're doing your equity planner or your, regular green test or something. So that's a couple things. So first thing is think about getting through the education. Some people do it in a weekend. Some people do it in a month. So use his calendar to do it, get it done with you. Second, think about you're going to learn in in the program, your business, think about getting your business hat set up and things like that, your website and things. And then the third thing is start thinking about filling out the equity planner. So I would start there, and that's going to start, you're going to start with how much money you want to make this year. You're going to work it backwards by month, and then you're going to back into it by mail, and you're going to see what the deals are going to look like. And then it's going to start to all come together.
It's very logical. This whole thing is very common sense and logical. It's not, it's not complicated. It's like a math. There's a point where it'll just switch. The flip will switch in your head, and it's like, okay, now I get how this all goes together. You just have to get yourself to that point where the switch flips.
And there's help. There's free help here and in Discord. And if you're like, I really need someone to hold my hand and really hold me accountable, then I'd reach out to the team and talk about the one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
Because that's not crazy too. If you really want someone, and then because we just recorded podcasts for like a week or two out today, and I was sharing stories about some of the people that I got to work with this week, and I was so happy because for the two that I met with, we had spoken a couple weeks before, and everything I asked them to do, they did. And It was really nice because I'm like, yay. All right, now here's your next step. And I can tweak little things and not have to go, what happened? There was no what happened. I was so happy. Yay. Yep, there you go. All right. Oh, coming up. So we have our shows, of course, podcast Monday through Friday. Next week we have the Land Academy Ladies Call is going to be Wednesday, April 9th. Look at me like this is the first time I'm reading this.
Maybe it's in your calendar, John.
It is my calendar. Yeah. So, but we've changed the days. Now it's on Wednesdays. I'm still catching up here. If you are a member of Land Academy and you are a female or your partner's a female, and you want them to be in this, certainly just send a note to the team at support@landacademy.com and say, hey, I want to get my business partner in here, and they'll make sure they get an invite to the ladies group call. Let's see, LA Pro call. Okay, that's next Thursday. And weekly call. Yep, this is normal.
Let's look at the news.
Okay.
This is week ended March 29th, which is not long ago at all. They're really caught up with the data. And look at this.
Amazing.
We've been tracking this for as long as I can remember. The last two trailing weeks were about 10% more year over year, 10% more new listings. This most recent week ended year over year is 30% more. This is the trending that I was looking for. This is very consistently trending and eking upward. Active listings, there's 30% more active listings now than there was last year. But now they're throw this on top of it. 30% more new listings. That's thousands and hundreds of thousands of properties that are on the market more than what we had last year. We're heading into a recession here, into a real estate cycle, the fourth cycle of real estate, which is a recession. That is really, really good news for us. Jill and I just did a podcast where I talked about you need to think of real estate cycles like surfing. So if you're out in the ocean ready to catch a wave and you're waiting, just sitting on your surfboard waiting for the right wave, and you choose one, the board starts to move and you're not up yet on the board. That's, the first cycle. That's this. Expansion. That wave is eventually going to crest. You want to be on the front of the wave when it crests. So all the way up through whatever cycle we're in, you're buying property and reselling it for more because the market's going up, which is not that hard. When the wave starts to crest, you want to ride that wave down and as long as possible. That's expansion and hyper supply. And recession is you're surfing. It's a recession is where you want to collect as much real estate as you possibly can and at the cheapest price possible so that you can decide to do with it, what to do with it during recovery. The whole thing just keeps cycling. It's
How many have you been through?
really, this is my fourth. It's really easy to buy crazy cheap real estate. This is the easiest cycle. Yeah, in this business. This is the best time to buy really cheap real estate. It's not the best time to buy it and immediately resell it. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. The people you can sell it to really quickly are people like who will rent it out or utilize it or build it on or stockpile it or whatever. So these are good times, great times.
That's a good point. People are like, well, who are my buyers? If I'm buying it, do I have to hold it for the end user? Nope. You could queue up these amazing deals for other investors who really just want to sit on them.
This is more good news. Interest rates are down to almost 6.5%. It's approaching 6.5%, and it'll get there shortly. This is today or April 3rd, I guess. Yeah.
Wasn't it below?
Look, this is the middle of May is 6.8. That's a good half a point less. This is without any federal rate. The feds haven't reduced rates in quite some time. I think they're supposed to do it two more times this year. So 2 or 3, I think 2. I'm not sure. I'm sure they're going to reduce it then. So this is good. It's cheaper capital to buy real estate. That should be pushing this stagnant property through, but it's not. And it's not driving prices lower. Typically prices will go lower. Jill likes to say the sellers are not in enough pain yet.
Nope. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
When they're all looking at it, they've all had their properties on the market for 150 days, like houses. They're going to go, oh, okay, now we need to start. Where's that letter? We're calling that person.
I saw this in Discord, so I figured I'd just mention it in our Discord in Land Academies. This is a massive amount of data here. It doesn't look like much. You can type in your metro area or all there's just a ton of areas here. And so when you look at and then whatever there's tons and tons of information that you can see about your specific area, whatever it is. So I'm just picking Albany here. This is new listing median price. Look at this is the blue is 2025. New listing median price.
Wow.
So here we don't see this is national. Median listing prices are 0. But if Albany is your area
that you're mailing,
or it could be your area now.
Yeah.
It's price adjusting pretty severely.
It is. Wow.
At end of the year, this is 2024 here. This is just a couple of months ago. And that's the effect. So please, I'm going to put this in here.
Look at this.
Please utilize this.
This 2025 is almost, coming there is about, it's going to, wow. What a difference from how last year.
If I go back to national.
Again, yeah, see, I like the national for big numbers, but for me personally, I really want to dig into the town. Like I'd love to see Denver.
This is new listings. This is the national new listings. There's 100,000 new listings, if you can see the pop out as of the end of March. So
Mhm.
this is a real good, almost not real time, but a really great resource to have. I look at this all the time. And then finally, for my part here, if you go to Redfin, I have this connected to my phone, as you should too. I want you to start picking markets, little markets that you think you should be buying and selling land in, and creating a feed for yourself so that you get notified, not every minute because it'll drive you nuts, but let's say in the morning. When I wake up in the morning and grab a cup of coffee, this is the first thing I do. I look at what happened in the real estate market in the markets that I care about in my Redfin feed. Doesn't have to be Redfin. Realtors got it. Zillow's got it. I'm not a big fan of Zillow's. Redfin's is the best for how we use it. So I've got it all just dialed in about what is happening in which markets where we typically buy land. Sometimes it's houses, and so I feel like I have my pulse. I do have my pulse on the market about changes, and I'll tell you what I'm seeing in markets that we're interested in. Back on market, I see a ton of land deals and house deals that are just coming back on the market. I see and price
Like they went
reductions.
pending
Yeah.
and then they're back. Okay.
And I see price reductions in fewer and fewer and fewer completed sales. I'm excited.
Mhm.
We're going to buy a ton of houses through this cycle. We already are.
Mhm.
We're in the sell side and the acquisition side on multiple properties for houses right now. And that's not always the case. Have a plan. Don't let this happen. Don't let this go pass you by.
Yes.
Put a plan together.
Every time I've heard you say a version of this, I kind of wish I bought more.
Yeah. One of the things, rookie mistakes that I've made a couple times in my life is waiting for the bottom.
Yeah.
I see people do this all the time. Well, I'm not going to buy it because I'm waiting for the bottom, or I'm waiting for the top. We haven't hit the top yet. I want it to go back down. And then you do nothing. The fact is you never buy at the bottom and you never buy at the top. There's still a speculation element to this. So you're buying somewhere along on the bottom and somewhere along on the top. Jill and I have a bunch of condominiums in Old Town Scottsdale that we've collected over the years. When they come on the market or somebody responds to a mailer, we bought one for a bank. They're all the same units. There's some slight variance. We've bought some for $60,000 and some for $250, $240, $230. So how do I look at that? I look at the average price. So when I go to sell one, I'm not going to say I bought it for 60 and sold it for 400. It's the average price of all of those. So that's up and down. Please don't wait for the bottom and make sure you have a plan.
Are we going to pick up a few more of those? Just own a whole wing?
I don't think so.
I'm okay with it.
There.
I like them.
Love the neighborhood, not real keen on the complex.
Yeah.
They're serving us well.
It is. All right. Is there any other notes in here or anything we need to go over? Is there O2O thing we need to look at, or
We could.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's a coupon code right now.
No, just where to send mail. I happen to know that here's the thing this is what just came out. So what I was talking about. So our team is your team. Are we renting them out or just holding? Yes.
No, we're renting. We're doing both.
Yeah.
We're not just holding them. They're making money.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So now we can close it up. Good time for those who need funding to close deals. Sure.